Today we will be showing you a sensor that can detect any metallic target that will pass through its hole. This is a special sensor that is manufactured by Dolphin device. We provide this sensor in different specification and different hole dia as the sensor requirement varies as per the customer application. So accordingly we provide this sensor. And the hole dia of this sensor varies from 6 mm to 30 mm based on the sensor application. Any metallic target that will pass through this sensor, the sensor will give the output. This sensor is available in the PNP, NPin and AC wire output. Now let's look at the different hole sizes. The first one is the 6 mm hole size, second is 10 mm, third is 16 mm, fourth is 22 mm and the last is 30 mm hole size of the ring sensor. So now let's look at the 6 mm hole ring sensor. So this is a ring sensor that will only detect metallic target. So we have given a sensing port adjustment also where you can increase or decrease the sensing range. You also get two mounting hole which you can use to mount this sensor in your machine. Another example of the sensor to look is the 16 mm ring sensor, which is an NPN type sensor. By NPN we mean is that this sensor will give negative output. And this is the 30 mm ring sensor, which is the largest size that we can offer in ring sensor. This is a PNP output, which means it will give positive output. So I've taken a silver chain which is passed through this sensor. You can see the sensor is giving the output, and once the chain breaks, the sensor does not give the output. Similarly, if I use a different metallic target which could be a screwdriver, and when it's passed through this sensor, the sensor gives the output. You can also see the indication light which the sensor is giving. Let's take another example of a different hole size ring sensor, and we are using three different types of target. One could be a metallic strip, a screwdriver and a silver chain, which will be passed through this sensor. And let's see how the output works when it's passed. So when the metallic strip is passed through the sensor gives the output, and when the screwdriver is passed through the sensor also gives the output. But when the silver chain is passed through this sensor, you can see the sensor is not giving the output. So in order for the sensor to detect the chain, we increase the sensing range by rotating the port in clockwise. Now you can see the sensor detecting the silver chain. The reason is that the sensor was not that much sensitive to detect the silver chain earlier. One more important application of this ring sensor is that a transparent or plastic tube is inserted in this sensor, and through that tube different metallic targets are put through it. For example, I'm using a bunch of different screws. When these screws will be passed through this sensor, the sensor will give the output. As you can see the indication light, for every target that the sensor detects, it gives the pulse, and we can use it as for counting application and any metallic target detection application. For placing the order, you can reach out to this number and we will be happy to support you on all types of different ring sensing application.